Sambulere, ay ko sa inyo na time, au may na oro na alo may maduaan. May to ale ahi na Radio Fiji 1 nando mo ibiti.
Sambulere ka ndango sela sa takau. Au hati tu mai bot kola, au taka tingai tabua, ondo mai boli tina singile wango na makete, ondo tali taka na barong na Radio Fiji 1 ondo mo ibiti.
Yola binariki ayo na vango kelera mai utam mai na kono na lota mayaki te mai mpa. Do tali tangi ne na to mai ibiti na to monga ni be ya ya.
Radio Fiji 1 nando mo ibiti.
Good evening, Fiji. In this bulletin, 2020-2021 budget a tough one. Business sector responds positively to the budget. And ACCF welcomes levy reduction.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Smith.
The 2020-2021 budget is one of the most difficult budgets to be put together by the Ministry of Economy and the Reserve Bank of Fiji. The RBF governor says this is due to the economy contraction that will happen this year as a result of the COVID pandemic. Sainiani Boiler reports the RBF governor made this comment while presenting during the Fiji Commerce and Employers Federation Symposium in Suva yesterday.
Bank of Fiji governor says it is important for relevant stakeholders to work together and ensure a positive outcome regardless of the expected contraction.
I'm very positive that we will rebound next year. The question is how much. And that how much very much depends on one, how people take up what's in the budget. More importantly is when the borders open, when the borders open, so that ultimately will be, that will decide in terms of where we end up.
Association of Banks President Sod Minam says the 2020-2021 national budget is a bold one.
It's very timely. To be honest with you, it is catered towards different segments and especially things which we've been looking for a long time. It has come in terms of overall support to the tourism sector. Not only that, I think the initiative of taking the stamp duty away from 1st of August as it comes implementable. This will help us to do the transaction much faster and bring a lot more activity into the overall financial and the consumer sector.
On top of the $3.4 billion in loan repayments already deferred, the Association of Banks have agreed to extend it further until December 31st, but on a case-by-case basis. Sainiani Mboila, FBC News.
A majority of the business community are still coming to terms with major reductions in stamp duty and taxes of certain items that were announced in the national budget. Minister for Economy Ayasaid Kayum announced on Friday night that all stamp duties will be abolished and there will be tax deductions for certain business areas as the country strives for economic recovery. Business owners believe that the budget announced is more of a stimulus one than that of a revenue-earning budget. Lena Rees has more.
The Fiji Commerce and Employers Federation and retailers believe the budget has benefits for everyone and also creates a level playing field for micro, small and medium enterprises who have been greatly impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic.
We view the budget as a favorable one. It has been better than what has been in the past couple of years, and therefore this is an excellent budget that now allows us to press the restart button quickly.
Retail sector has been hit hard. Like most sectors of the economy, we are not immune to what's happening around us, and this is the biggest reduction I've come across in Fiji's recent history.
The Minister for Trade says the budget is welcomed by the ministry and all sectors of trade and tourism are looking forward to working with the new allocations.
It's really creating a whole lot more within our own shores. And I think we have to, in light of what's happening around the world, and we have to be very creative.
The Economy Minister has also instructed businesses and supermarkets that their prices must reflect the supply-side discounts, adding that customers need to see the cost savings from the wholesale customs restructure.
Businesses benefiting from these massive reductions should know your nation needs your generosity, not your greed. Your profits should be felt by your employees, both those still working and those you now can bring back after letting go.
TIKO has stressed businesses that do not comply with the new range of customs restructure can expect to hear from the Fijian Competition and Consumer Commission. Lena Rees, FBC News.
Despite a 50% reduction in the motor vehicle accident levy, the Accident Compensation Commission says this will not affect their ability to continue to compensate accident victims. Minister for Economy Ayasai Kayum announced a reduction in the motor vehicle accident levy by 50%, effective from 1st of August this year to 31st July 2021, to provide relief to motor vehicle owners for a period of 1 year as the nation copes with the impacts of COVID-19. Pranita Prakash reports the motor vehicle accident levy is one of the sources of income for ACCF.
The Accident Compensation Commission says they fully support the decision to reduce the motor vehicle accident levy.
That'll basically provide a lot of relief to families, individuals, taxi owners, bus operators who have large fleets of vehicles, businesses that have large fleets, minivans, etc. So the impact of this reduction is across the board, and it just helps everybody out in this very challenging time.
The Chief Executive assures ACCF's ability to compensate accident victims will not be affected.
Of course, the question that flows from that, and others have asked me, is with this reduction in levy, does it affect ACCF's ability to continue to pay compensation? And the answer is absolutely not. We are well placed to continue to do the work that we do for victims of accidents.
The Fiji Bus Operators Association has welcomed the announcement.
The 50% reduction on the levy is a very good thing, and the whole industry is going to benefit from that. And we welcome this budget very positively, and the nation will start moving forward.
ACCF says they continue to receive and process applications for compensation. To date, ACCF has paid over $12 million in compensation for motor vehicle, employment and school accidents. Pranita Prakash, FBC News.
The COVID-19 Concessional Finance Support Package Initiative has received a lot of positive feedback from the business sector. The Fiji Commerce and Employers Federation believes 60% of Fijian-owned micro, small and medium enterprises and businesses will benefit from this assistance. Pranita Prakash reports the support package has been designed to aid MSMEs struggling with the effects of COVID-19.
Close to 9,000 applications have been received under the COVID-19 concessional finance support packages. Minister for Economy Ayasai Kayum says these are highly targeted loans which will ease the financial burden on enterprises until the Fijian economy makes its recovery.
We've got Ministry of Agriculture and Ministry of Commerce working together with them to process the applications. It's going to be a payout of about $60 million. On conservative levels. Now that's going to be an amount of money being injected into the economy. There are a couple of small, medium enterprises that will actually get some working capital. There are some people who have existing micro enterprises, they'll get the cash flow, and there are some new ones coming to play.
Fiji Commerce and Employers Federation says these applications are currently being processed by the Working Committee.
So they're all going through the assessment process right now, and then I'm hoping that government will start writing some of the checks within 3 weeks' time, at the earliest. But that's a great initiative because the interest rates are 0.5 for the MSME, 0.5%, so which is on a $7,000 loan. And if you take a $7,000 loan, all you pay in interest is $35 a year. Unheard of in this world.
While speaking at the Fiji Commerce and Employers Federation Symposium on the new normal Fiji economic recovery, the Economy Minister highlighted that these businesses borrowing at extremely concessionary terms can immediately put funds to work readying their businesses for the day their revenues return. Pranita Prakash, FBC News.
Up ahead, Education Ministry content with budget allocation and Parenthood Assistance Scheme to be reviewed.
हमारा नाम ललित नारायण है हम रेडियो पीजी 2 सुनता है रेडियो पीजी का इसके लड़का
जी हाँ मैं ताबुआ शहर से बोल रहा हूँ मेरा नाम शर्मा है बिहार में रेडियो पीजी 2 हमेशा सुनता हूँ जो रेडियो पीजी 2 देश का धड़कन
मेरा नाम चंद्रा है मैं रकेती से बात करती हूँ आपके राम राम मुझे रेडियो पीजी 2 बहुत पसंद है
रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन।
The Ministry of Education, Heritage and Arts has been allocated $450.6 million in the 2020-2021 national budget, a decrease of $17.1 million from last year's allocation. The Education Minister says she is happy with the budget given to her ministry, taking into account the impact of COVID-19 facing thousands of Fijians today. Koroi Tandulalo reports.
The Education Ministry says it is important that we build a knowledge-based society by ensuring young people have equitable access to high-quality education at all levels.
First of all, I'm very happy that my teachers will not go through any pay cut, and I'm sure they're happy. And I think the job ahead of us is going to be a challenging one. And our focus would be on finding efficiencies within the budget that we've been given without compromising the quality of education.
Despite the $17.1 million reduction in the education budget, the ministry will continue with its various initiatives.
I'm pleased that we will still continue with our subsidized transportation. We'll still be going with the free textbooks, and there has been a slight reduction in the fairground. I would like to encourage all the teachers and all those that work for the Ministry of Education to stay focused.
There will be some policy changes as well for the tertiary education loan scheme to raise the qualifying standards for students and lower costs.
For starters, only students who earn marks above 250 on the Year 13 exams will qualify. We're also lowering TELS and Topper scholarship available, among with some other belt-tightening measures. But to grant flexibility to those still paying back loans, TELS repayments will now be suspended another year.
The free education grants will be redistributed to schools by assigning resources more efficiently to cut costs by 20% to ensure schools in more rural areas see a larger share of the total allocation. Koroi Tandulala, FBC News.
A sum of $200,000 has been injected to support the smaller municipal councils to make up for the loss of revenue. During the budget address, Economy Minister Said Kayum revealed that the retirement age for those working in municipal councils will be reduced from 60 to 55 in 1 year's time. Said Kayum also highlighted that over the years, government has sent a strong message with high payment penalties for late tax payments, and as a result, they've witnessed a culture shift towards more timely payments. He says government is now at a point where it can comfortably ease up on penalties, adding that in the next financial year, the penalty for late tax payment is being slashed from 300% to 15% annually.
Never lifted so many taxes and regulations so quickly, and we want businesses to act fast to take advantage. But first, Mr. Speaker, sir, make sure you read up carefully on what is actually allowed. Mr. Speaker, sir, these measures may be targeted at employers, but it's people, both employees and consumers, who will see the greatest good.
The Parenthood Assistance Payments has been suspended. The scheme was aimed at assisting mothers from families with a household income below $30,000, where $1,000 grant was given when a child was born. During the budget announcement on Friday night, Minister for Economy Said Kayum highlighted the need to focus on families whose finances have been affected.
Again, it's important we target resources on families facing the most severe hit to their finances, rather than more broadly focused assistance payments. We'll be taking the next year to review these payments to determine when and if they'll resume.
It doesn't matter how many times you fall, it matters how many times you get back up. Our successful Fijian tonight, we catch up with Muhammad Abid, the owner of Safety Rental Cars, welding and maintenance work. From market memories of selling bean and peanuts in Lambasa town to selling crabs in Suva, Abib's story serves as an inspiration to our youth. Sanyan Imboila with this success story.
Growing up from Walimbasonga in Lambasa, Muhammad Abid's parents sells bean for 5 cents in order to make a living.
My parents and grandparents all were market vendors, and when I am the son in the family, and my mom and dad used to take me from small to change my napkins in the market. I sleep on the stall, market stall, from the small. So, and we used to sell sweets, bean, peanut.
With his parents struggling to make ends meet, Abid left school at a very young age to assist his parents provide for their family.
Then Form 3 I went to Olsen Secondary School just first time and just leave the school to help family and business in the market. That time our business was very small and we were very poor family.
Determined to make something for himself, he moved to the capital city, grabbing every opportunities that come his way.
I used to sell on the roadside. I think I was the first person to sell prawn on the roadside in Suva, in the ice key. I used to walk down from Nasinu Road to Kombote Street to my workplace every day, morning and afternoon.
With an entrepreneurial mind, Abid dabbed into various business sectors to gain more experience, and this was the start of his road to success.
Mine, and we started with rental. No, we started with taxi. We got 2 taxis, and then I think that was not enough. And we started up in support of my wife, and we started with rentals, safety rentals.
Abid says the secret to being successful is not to accept failure, but to view it as a learning opportunity.
First, you have to be truthful. Number 1, you do good job, reliable, you trust in God and your families, and then you'll succeed in your life.
He now owns multiple properties which include safety rental cars, safety welding works, commercial agriculture work, and is planning to expand his business in civil works. Sainia Nimboila, FBC News.
Up ahead in sports, FRU appoints 3 new board members, and Suva hold Rewa to a draw in VPL.
My name is Salate. I'm from Navintamu. We love listening to the FM.
My name is Koto. I'm from Nagaranga. I love Today FM because of latest hit music and Today FM rocks.
My name is Sulweti. I'm from Nagaranga. Today FM rocks.
The Fiji Rugby Union has welcomed 3 new board members after their annual general meeting at Novotel in Lami yesterday. The new board members are Mbudholati from Fiji Secondary Schools Rugby, Legal Director Amani Mbale, and Dr. Emosi Talonga. Tale Matairukula reports.
Fiji Rugby Union Chief Executive John O'Connor says they have welcomed the 3 new board members to the union.
3 board directors have rotated up. 3 board directors have come in. So we will arrange a farewell for those who are leaving, and also welcome anyone when we have the next board meeting.
Newly appointed Region 5 Development Officer TIKO MATAWALU says the appointment is timely as FRU strives to uplift the standard of the sport and the image of Fiji rugby domestically and internationally.
Election of 3 new board members, and with how rugby has been administered, Fiji rugby has been administered for the past how many years, and having replacements in the board, we can only take Fiji rugby forward.
MATAWALU adds collaborative work will surely take the FRU to greater heights.
We have a good direction that we are heading towards, and we can only rely on union representatives to continue the good work in the unions, while we put our confidence in leaders of our Fiji rugby to continue with what they're doing, so that there is always consistency.
Retaining their positions on the FRU board are Chairman Francis Kin, Daniel Wipi, Mere Rakuroi, Dr. Berlin Kafoa, Bobby Naimawi, and Jay White. Tali Materkula, FBC Sports.
The Suva Rugby Union hosted its first pre-season competition at Bidesi Park yesterday, following the lifting of restriction on sports activity. The union is urging various rugby clubs in Suva to adhere to the return-to-play protocol that has been implemented by the Fiji National Sports Commission. Karalaini Tavi has more.
While officiating the launch of the Suva Rugby Union pre-season match yesterday, Prime Minister Vorengen Bainimarama reiterated the importance of practicing COVID-19 precautionary measures, especially during sporting events.
But it underscores the fact that we have only managed to gain a fragile truce with this virus. We have not yet won the war. We have to keep fighting and strictly adhere to the safety and hygiene precautions directed by our Health Minister and Health Ministry.
Suva Rugby Union expects intense rivalry when the official club competition kicks off.
There is a number of high-profile teams that are currently playing, and it's also part of Suva Rugby Union's testing out of the return-to-play protocols.
Suva Rugby General Secretary Devita Tuiloa says teams that do not comply with the protocols in place will be penalized.
Any of the players or any of the teams do not comply with our return-to-play protocols, we will be imposing penalties. So they can have either their points deducted or they can be banned from one of the rounds.
The Suva Rugby Union pre-season match yesterday is a build-up to the club competition on August 1st. Karalaini Tavi, FBC Sports.
Suva and Rewa fought tooth and nail to the final whistle as both teams were locked 0-0 in their Vodafone Premier League match this afternoon. Both teams struggled throughout the match, trying to up one another. However, all attempts failed, resulting in a 0-0 draw at full time. Tali Matairakula with the story.
Rewa was on the attack for the majority of the first half, but couldn't find a chance to capitalize on its opportunities, with all attempts to the box proved unsuccessful.
We came into the ground, we know our strength, and there were some loopholes around it. Our strikers are not aggressive enough, so you saw I stopped the strikers in the second half because we didn't have Nambenia and Bruce this week.
Rewa knew Suva was the team to beat, and Rondu says weakness in the team resulted in the draw.
We managed the ball well, but not aggressive enough to provide problem in the Suva defense. But there was some, but not predominantly.
Suva had to make changes in the second spell, but this again was not enough to put points on the scoreboard for the Whites.
They performed well, they stayed to the game plan. I did not pull them out because they played bad, and we just wanted to turn the game around. We had two younger boys who were very fast up front.
The draw means both teams are awarded a point each, meaning the Delta Tigers maintain their lead on the table with 13 points. Suva equalizes with Mba at third place with 9 points, while Lautoka claims the second spot with 10 points after their 2-1 win over Navua this afternoon. Tali Materkula, FBC Sports.
The Blues suffered their second loss in Super Rugby Aotearoa, going down to the Hurricanes 29-27 last night. The win takes the Hurricanes to second place with 12 points, while Blues maintain their lead with 13 points. Micah Sivo's Parramatta Eels suffered their second loss in the NRL after going down to the Manly Sea Eagles 22-18. Wanga Blake scored a try for the Ladder Leaders, but this was not enough to pull the Eels through. Other matches last night, the Knights edged the Rabbitohs 20-18 and the Dragons down the Bulldogs 28-22. And in weather, a trough of low pressure lies over the country and is gradually moving southeastwards. Associated cloud and showers are expected to continue to affect the group till later this evening. Quick look at the weather map in the west. Cloudy periods with some showers and isolated thunderstorms, especially in the afternoon and evening. Eastwards from Pacific Harbour to Suva, mostly cloudy today with brief periods of rain throughout the day. And up north, cloudy periods with some showers and isolated thunderstorms. A northeast wind flow prevails over Fiji waters. Northeast winds 10 to 15 knots, moderate seas. Turning to the tides, high tide was at 5:48 p.m. with low tide at 11:30 tonight. Sunrise is at 6:37. Now the outlook for tomorrow, occasional showers and isolated thunderstorms over the eastern parts and interior of the larger islands. Elsewhere, cloudy periods with some showers and isolated thunderstorms, especially in the afternoon and evening. Isolated heavy falls are possible, cool at night, moderate to rough seas. And our further outlook is cloudy periods with brief showers over the eastern parts and interior of the larger islands. Elsewhere, mainly fine, cool at night. Northerly winds 10 to 15 knots, moderate seas, moderate southerly swells. And recapping the main stories for tonight, businesses happy with the new budget. Economist labels 2020-2021 budget bold beyond belief, and Parenthood Assistance Scheme to be reviewed. Now for these stories and others, tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. Our poll question we're asking: are you excited to be watching National League matches live on free-to-air TV for the first time? Visit our FBC website to answer. And you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos to email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj, via Facebook page FBC News and our Twitter page at FBC_news. That's your news for tonight. Until tomorrow, from the team and I, have a safe and enjoyable new week ahead. Until tomorrow, Modamanda.
Bulare ya na vango la tila tarelau au daptu mena korbatura on tawara na tinuele na santa konrobe totale takana warang wali na Bula FM ira kena serap kena tumuta vaka ndo matadren
Bula na hako dersia au waktu itu lo toka au talita kana warang na Bula FM na banduan sere
kalau minang biar terusan betapa warang na Bula FM na banduan sere
Bula FM, number 2 NSR.